Hi, Scorpio. We're going to be looking at the energies that you'll be navigating in the coming days as it relates to health and wellness, family, friends, and coworkers, and career and finance. So, with that said, God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, I thank you for my Scorpio friends, and thank you for showing us the energies that we navigate in our day-to-day lives. Please show us clearly what energies will we be navigating as it relates to health and wellness, as it relates to family, friends, and coworkers, and as it relates to career and finance. We thank you for clear and concise messages, love, light, and prosperity, and clarification, confirmation, and validation. Coming up, health and wellness. We have shadow. Now remember, this is mind, body, and spirit. In our friends, family, and coworkers, look, we have new beginnings. That's awesome. And as it relates to career and finance, we have power. Okay, Scorpio, these are all major arcana. So what that means is that these days coming up are going to be transformational in some way or another. And I feel like I see what's going on here, but I am going to hold off until we get the clarifiers. But before we do that, we're going to pull an overarching theme for this reading. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, show us the overarching theme. What's the overall message for Scorpio as it relates to these energies, this reading that we're talking about? We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Okay, so your overarching message is magic stream. Everything is connected, right? And water finds its own level. Somebody said that to me one time, and I thought it was very insightful and very profound. But Magic Stream is the card that we're drawing for your overall message, and we're going to see what it says for you guys. Okay. Magic Stream. Everything is connected through the universal flow of consciousness. Every experience you have seems to have its own life story, with a beginning, a middle, and eventually an end. However, there's danger in viewing events as separate from one another, since in fact they're all part of a continuity and a greater evolution. Like an ever-flowing magic stream, your experiences filter through the whole world, one leading into another, informing and influencing still more. Inspiration, invention, and revelations rarely come to just one person. The collective awareness is a shared storehouse of potential. When you remember you're part of a fluid continuity of life, you become a channel for great inspiration. Allow the magic to flow through you and carry your dreams into reality. Your success will benefit many. Okay, so that is the overarching message for you as it relates to this reading. So we're going to get clarifiers on these other energies and see what's going on here. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit, we thank you so much for showing us the energies that we'll be navigating as we in our day-to-day lives. As it relates to health and wellness, we're looking at shadow. As it relates to friends, family, and coworkers, we've got new beginnings. And as it relates to career and finance, we're looking at power. Please show us clearly, what are these messages about? Clarify shadow, new beginnings, and power. We thank you for clear and concise messages, love, light, and prosperity, and we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Okay, guys, so clarifying the shadow. Shadow's the same as the moon card. It's like there's something not being revealed. There's something we're not looking at, usually within ourselves, right? We're getting the Hierophant, and we're getting the Six of Pentacles, okay? And in the family, friends, and coworkers, our relationships, we're looking at new beginnings, and it's being clarified with the Five of Cups, and it's being clarified with the King of Wands. And then we're we've got power, which is the same as the strength card. In career and finance, we've got the Ten of Pentacles, and we've got the Knight of Cups. Wow. Okay, so let's dig into these. This is the Shadow card. Okay, again, it's the same as the Major Arcana in the Tarot. This is John Holland's Oracle deck. It's called John Holland's Psychic Tarot, but it's an Oracle deck. But the Shadow card represents in the tarot, the Moon card. And the moon is about, in the night, we can't see everything, right? And most times I talk about trust and knowing that that even in the darkness, Spirit will light our way with the light of the moon. We might not see the whole picture, but we'll get step at a time, which step to take next and stuff like that. This is in health and wellness. And because these are your clarifiers, I feel like it has to do with your spiritual self, like Spirit's asking you to look inside yourself and see possibly what you haven't seen before, or what you might have seen and kind of turned your head from. And it could be of a spiritual nature, but I feel like it's just a spiritual practice for you to be able to do that, to connect with that higher self in you, to be able to say, I see your fear, right? I see your fear. Cheryl, I see your fear, talking to yourself. I see your fear. There's nothing to be afraid of. Because our path is lit. Whatever those things are inside of yourself that you've not dealt with, I feel like there's going to be Spirit saying the energies are right to let it come up, let it heal, and then let it go. And then you find that you're more generous with yourself. You're able to let yourself off the hook. You're able to forgive yourself. You're able to find that balance, that equal give and take within who you are, right? And then it begins to trickle outside of you, as this spread actually shows. So I feel like that's what they're saying. Look for that which you have kept hidden, right? It's part of you. It's part of the for example, you are, let's just say you are a doer, and you do and you've got tasks, and you're that person that says, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. And so because you feel deep inside of yourself that there's no other way to do it. This is a lot of people equate this card with religion, but it's like our religion. It's like how we feel about things. It's like this color, this red, it's part of the root chakra. So it's like how we understand how life works. That, that's just an example. This is a general reading, but there's something inside of you that spiritually it's time to release it. And whenever we do that and we allow ourselves to flow into the acceptance of who we are, flow into the way that life actually does work, and we're more generous with ourselves, the way we've been with others in the past, we owe that to ourselves too, okay? So in friends, family, and coworkers, you have new beginnings. So I feel like in some respects, Spirit is going to be attracting more people, like-minded people, into your awareness. But I feel like they're saying if there's been relationships from the past that have fallen apart because of stuff you've held on to, because whenever we hold on to stuff, it projects out on other people. So Spirit's asking you not to grieve too much for those relationships, because they're trying to bring new relationships into your experience, right? New beginnings. This is about new beginnings. In some cases, I'm not going to say that, you can mend old relationships, because maybe you can, but that's not what this is talking about. This is talking about letting go of those old relationships and forming new ones. Does that mean that I need to walk away from my family? In some cases, maybe it does. If your family is not on board with you, if your family is part of what tries to, they give you the expectations of how you're supposed to be inside their box, and that's just not who you are. Whenever you walk out of that and they don't support you in that, then sometimes we have to allow that just to be, and one day it might get reconciled. But if it never does, that's okay too, because Spirit's going to fill those cups with something else. There's new beginnings here, okay? And then you have the King of Wands. So how does the King of Wands play into our relationships, our family, our friends, and our co-workers? The King of Wands is passionate, right? The wands are about passion, purpose, creativity, inspiration, and connection with spirit for me. So I feel like this is basically, see all this passion back here, see all this color? I feel like in these new relationships, if you bring the whole of who you are and you're purposeful about your relationships and you're purposeful about showing up in your fullness, then what happens is other people can show up in their fullness too. When we're honest with people, they can be honest with us. When we're congenial with people, they can be congenial with us. Those types of things. So what we give out, we get back. So I feel like they're saying bring this purposeful intent for good relationships into this new beginning as far as relationships go. Family, friends, and co-workers. So in your career and finance, you're coming up with strength, okay? Remember earlier I was talking about, and that, these thoughts don't come to me unless there's a specific somebody out there that Spirit's talking to. But this one shadow part of ourselves that Spirit talked about, if it is to be, it's up to me. That's where we think that there's nobody walking this walk with us, when clearly Spirit's saying we're walking this walk with you. And whenever we find that resolve within ourselves, right? Look at this, because this is beautiful. The red right here is the old way, the old man. The purple right here, for me, purple's royalty, but it's also the violet light. Is that what they call it? Anyway, and that's where your strength comes in. So it's like there's a transformation. You do have to walk in this 3D world, but you have the power and the strength to walk in a way that you've not walked before in the past, and to be able to operate in flow, allowing Spirit to guide you. And this is in career and finance. So all those struggles that you've had in the past, if I feel like Spirit's saying, Scorpio, just relax, because we're bringing you into a generational type of abundance, an abundance that you've never experienced before. We are helping you to break the curses of, if it is to be, it's up to me. We're helping you do things in a whole different way. This is going to be a legacy type situation in your career and finances, where you're going to, just by walking in this new way, it's going to help the people that you affect, the people that you touch, the people that you're in close contact with, to change the way they do things too. And it starts with back to this generosity, right? This bringing this love for yourself, that whenever we come in, this is the Knight of Cups. It's an offer of love, right? This isn't a love reading. So this is about approaching your work from a place of love, approaching your work from a place of purpose, where and it doesn't matter what you do, whether you're an energy healer, or you work at McDonald's, or whether you sell shoes at Macy's, or you read tarot, whatever it is that you do, whenever you approach it from a place of love, and you love what you do, and you love the way that what you do affects others, it adds to this flow. It's like you don't regret. They're saying do something that you're going to be glad to get up for. Do something that is going to make you feel like there's meaning to life, and you can do that in whatever job you're in. So, because you have this strength and this resolve within you, this is more than just, if it is to be, it's up to me. This is, I know my purpose. I know my worth and my value, and I know that I don't have to ask and beg and all that stuff and work till my fingers bleed, because Spirit knows my needs. And whenever my intentions are in place and my heart is in place, When my intentions are right and my heart is in the right place, things flow naturally. That was a lot of words to get that little message out. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we're going to look at your PS. God, guides, angels, archangels, Holy Spirit. I thank you for showing us the energies that we'll be navigating in the next days. Show us clearly, what is your PS for Scorpio? We thank you for clear and concise messages. We thank you for love, light, and prosperity. And we thank you for clarification, confirmation, and validation. Please show us clearly, what is the PS? Okay, Scorpio. PS. Look, the Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor is, so they're talking to a group of you Scorpios who are at a more mature level. Like you're not, you could even be young, but you're not necessarily young in your mind, and you're not young in your soul. You have a maturity about you, right? This Emperor has a maturity about him, and he has got a little bit of every single king, and the kings are the highest in the court, right? Under the Emperor. And so the King of Pentacles is resourceful. He's an action taker. They're all action takers and they're all visionaries, but he's resourceful. He's an action taker, and he believes in systems and processes and things like that. The King of Swords, he's intellectual. He doesn't allow his emotions to drive him. He uses them as messengers, which is what they were intended to be, and then he makes his decisions based on facts. He doesn't have to ask anybody's opinion, right? Because he's confident in his knowledge. The King of Cups is very he loves himself. He is in a good way. He's unconditional loving. He's unconditionally accepting, and not only of himself, but of others too. And that comes out. He's emotionally intelligent, and that comes out of him. It permeates from him, and it affects the people around him. It affects the people in his kingdom, right? And then you have the King of Wands, who is passionate and purposeful, right? Passionate, purposeful, inspired, creative, and always connected with spirit. Right, so this is you. They're saying this is you in this time, in this new, as you're walking into this new decade. You know, in your health and wellness, and it usually ends up being something spiritual or something mental. But what happens is whenever we get to a point where we allow our spiritual life or our mental life to get clogged up, it does cause physical illnesses and physical challenges. Anyway, so they're showing you have everything that you need in your heart and in your soul and your mind. You have everything you need to proceed in whichever way you want. And this is that if it is going to be, it's up to me. That must be a big message for somebody. Somebody out there is working their fingers to the bones trying to create something. And Spirit is saying, hey, Scorpio, you do your part and we're going to do our part. Let us flow. There's this magic stream, right? And that every part of your life is affected by the things that you do. So they're saying whenever you plant that seed, Scorpio, it's us that causes that seed. You know, I was thinking about this analogy the other day. Let me finish it. It's us. It's the spirit. It's the universe that causes that seed to crack open and for those little roots to come up to grow up through the earth, and then out of the ground they sprout the plant or the flower or whatever it is, and then the fruit of the plant shows up also. And all you're having to do is go back and water it. You don't go back and dig it up every time. But until the seed, this is what I was thinking about the other day, until the seed is actually in the ground, right? When the seed is still in the packet, it never does anything. It's not until it actually gets planted into the ground that it breaks open and starts to grow out of the earth. So I feel like they're saying whenever your intention is here, is in your heart, right? When your intention is coming from a place of love, because it's love that grows the stuff that we do. So when your intention is coming from a place of love, you just do your part. You plant that seed, you plant that intention deep within you, and then you water it every now and then and watch us conspire to make it happen for you. It's like you don't have to work your fingers to the bone, Scorpio. And yes, there are things that you're not going to understand. There's things that you're not going to be able to see. You're not going to be able to figure out how does this get me to where I want to go, or how do I get to that end over there? And I feel like Spirit's saying there's things you're not going to know, but trust us, because when it's time for you to know it, then you're going to take that step. That's when the resources are going to show up for you. We're not going to give you the resources before the step, because then you might get confused about, not that we're dumb or anything, but that's not what I'm saying, but it's like Spirit, whenever it's time for the next step, the resources show up for it. And until then, all we need to do is water our idea, love it, thank God for it, thank the universe for it, thank Spirit for it, and let Spirit do their job moving things around as they grow it up out of the ground. Okay. That is your message, Scorpio. Go out and have a super duper. Hey, listen, all you guys who subscribe, like, share, comment, ring the bell, call for readings, or email me for readings, the donations, all that stuff. Y'all rock my world. And the passersby too, you guys who stop in and hit that like button or comment, y'all blow my mind, all of y'all. And thank you so much. Have a super duper day. Now I gotta find that little thing. Bye.